Medical marijuana refers to using the whole cannabis plant or the plant's basic extracts for the treatment of various conditions. So far, 25 states have established medical marijuana programs, which are in dark green. In light green are the states that are legalized for recreational use.
Beyond the human, social, and economical benefits generated by legalization, cannabis is an extremely profitable commercial enterprise. The economic benefits of legalizing marijuana could mean a big push for state economies and big bucks for both the state and the federal governments. Legalizing marijuana would generate $8.7 billion in federal and state tax revenue per year. In the 3 years that Colorado has been taxing marijuana, they have made over $500 million.
If you were to find yourself in chronic pain, would you rather take a medication that would sedate you, make you dizzy, cause nausea, vomiting, tolerance, respiratory depression, and physical dependency, or a non-addictive medication that throughout the millennia of use has never been known to have any debilitating side effects?
And when I sat down next to her in a medical marijuana dispensary in Northern California to ask her about why she turned to medical marijuana, what it did for her, and how it helped her, she started out by telling me things that I had heard from many patients before. It helped with her anxiety. It helped with her pain. When her pain was better, she slept better. And I'd heard all that before. But then she said something that I'd never heard before. And that is that it gave her control over her life and over her health. She could use it when she wanted, in the way that she wanted, at the dose and frequency that worked for her. And if it didn't work for her, then she could make changes. Everything was up to her. The most important thing she said was she didn't need anybody else's permission. Not a clinic appointment, not a doctor's prescription, not a pharmacist's order. It was all up to her. She was in control.
The people that use medical marijuana, even when they do so legally under state law, can get arrested by the federal government. In 2015, a family in Washington was arrested for growing medical marijuana that was legal under Washington law. Also in 2015, a U.S. Marine veteran named Chris Lewandowski used cannabis to treat his PTSD. He was arrested and faces possible life in prison. In 2014, a Minnesota mother was charged with child endangerment after giving her son cannabis oil to treat his seizures from a traumatic brain injury. She had tried several prescription medications, but none had worked. Also, she was arrested even though a law had been passed that was about to make cannabis oil legal in Minnesota in 2015. These examples are all of people who were not using recreational marijuana, but were just trying to find a medicine that works effectively. Think about this. In 2010, 52% of all drug busts were for marijuana, and among those were people that were trying to treat a disease. If medical marijuana were legalized, people wouldn't have to fear prison when treating their children's seizures or other illnesses. Legalizing marijuana would have several positive benefits. First of all, if recreational marijuana were legalized and taxed similarly to tobacco, it could generate large amounts of revenue, as Colorado has already experienced. Medical marijuana is an effective painkiller with less risk of addiction than opioids. If it were legalized, people who would otherwise be prescribed opioids could be prescribed marijuana instead, which would result in fewer deaths by overdose. Today, people use medical marijuana even while it's legal because they get more flexibility than if they got a prescription for opioids. And sometimes people use it because other medications have failed them. These people could be arrested by the federal government at any time, even if their medication is legal and regulated under state law. They often have been, just for using a medication that works for them. If medical marijuana were legalized, these people would get legal access to an effective, relatively safe painkiller without having to worry about being arrested. In conclusion, it is clear that marijuana should be legalized.